Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Marion Clovetes. I'm a spiritual teacher and coach, and here I talk about psychology, spirituality, and life in the country. Today, I want to talk to you about the danger of being intuitive. But first, a quick reminder of what it is to be intuitive. For me, it just means to be in touch with your intuition, and I believe that every human being has this ability within themselves to be connecting with the intuition, with something bigger, to be able to decipher all the signs and to kind of feel into things. It's just a matter of how more in tune you are with this part of yourself. When I talk about the danger of being intuitive, I don't mean actually something very dark. And I know intuition is something that's considered occult, as in it's invisible and nobody can really explain it, even though there are theories from neuroscience and religion in general. It is very difficult to really trace back the source of intuition. So while by some people it is considered a dark art, that's absolutely not what I mean by danger. What I mean, however, is how it can be very, very tempting to believe that because you're intuitive, you always have to know what's going to happen. I'm talking about this from my own experience. I think it was last week or last weekend. I was thinking about a precise topic and I was like, oh, I should know because I'm really intuitive. And that's where it gets really dangerous, because we don't need to be right, okay? Our mind wants us to be right, because if we're not right, then we're wrong, and if we're wrong, then what's our worth as a spiritual person, as a spiritual practitioner? But surely it's not so much about that. Yes, it is really cool to be able to predict something. It's really nice to kind of know, and I think that's one of the perks, definitely, of going through the whole spiritual journey. You do get more information than like your regular person. And sometimes with these amazing abilities that we have to feel into things, to be intuitive, comes a huge pressure, which is the pressure to be 100% right 100% of the time, which is simply not possible. First of all, mathematically, it just doesn't matter. You cannot be right about something 100% of the time. Second of all, it's not the fucking point. It's really not the point. We're here, I believe, in this life to learn, to grow, to love. And if we knew everything that was going to happen, if we were 100% certain of how something would go, I think we'd miss like half of the fun. And I know that it's good to know, and I do turn to my pendulum or my tarot cards when I want confirmation, and it's good, it feels good. And I think we as humans do need that. We need faith, we need to believe into something bigger, we need to know that everything is going to be alright. But does it need to happen exactly the way we envisioned it? I don't believe so. And actually I think it would make it, the whole life experience, very, very boring. My experience has been that it never quite happens exactly the way I thought it would. So, to give you an example, a few weeks ago, I was due to meet up with someone in London, and I had a feeling that it wouldn't happen. I had a feeling that I would end up not going to London. My mind kind of made it into, oh, well, this person's going to cancel at the last minute, or there will be a strike or something. So that's not what happened. I ended up not going to London myself because I got sick the night before, and the next day I was absolutely tired and still a bit sick. So I just couldn't go. So I was right in thinking that it wouldn't happen, but it wasn't for the reasons I thought. So my point is, even if you can feel into things, it doesn't usually happen for the reasons you think. And that's what makes it interesting. Surprise is a part of life. And yes, it's good to have a limit of bad surprises. But then again, if someone would tell you you're going to have a bad news and give you like a specific bad news on this date, I mean, I don't know about you, but I know I spend the whole time leading to this moment absolutely stressing out about the situation, the bad news possibly arriving. So basically, we know what we need to know when we need to know it. And I'm going to repeat that because it feels really powerful. We know what we need to know when we need to know it. Not before, not after. So it's really important to give ourselves some slack over what we think our intuition is telling us, because we're only humans, right? The reason we choose once more to be here, to be doing this life experience, is to be able to learn and to grow. And if we had all the answers, it wouldn't be like half the fun. So something to consider, as our mind does like to be right about things. I think it is really quite important to realize that life is not all about your mind. Life isn't about knowing everything. Life isn't about getting everything right. And it's important to recognize these thoughts when they occur. When I start thinking, oh, maybe I'm not right, what will happen, all of that, it's future based. And future based thoughts is where anxiety lives. Because anxiety really comes from a need to have future information and to have some certainty. But once more, we can't have more information about the future because nothing is guaranteed, and it's very true when you're spiritual and you have a business. But it's true for everyone, really. Even if you're not spiritual, even if you have a career as an employee, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And I think it's very important to remember that we don't know. We have no clue. And everybody is the same. Even people who have very developed spiritual abilities, I don't think they have as much visibility over their own lives. And I don't consider myself very spiritual and very intuitive. And I don't know. I have feelings. I have visions, but I don't know if they're going to happen for sure. And I certainly don't know when or exactly how. And that's part of the fun. That's what keeps you going, at it. That's what makes it interesting and make you grow and transform in the process of getting what you want. So what's the alternative? Because let's finish on a positive note. If we shouldn't, try and also, always be right, and we shouldn't try and know at any cost, which definitely we shouldn't. What's the alternative? So for me, the alternative is two things. One of them is to focus on the present. So when I start thinking, right, what's going to happen, how's it going to happen, when my mind wants questions and I hear the mental chatter, realize what's happening and be like, well, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or next week or next month. Things, and I have so many examples of that I can feed back to my mind. So many things can happen in the span of a day. Things can be shifting in like an hour or a minute or even a second, right? For the good or for the bad. Let's focus on the good. So really being present is really, really important. Accepting that we don't know. And also leading with curiosity. So instead of being, oh, well, I had this intuition, or saying to someone, you had this intuition if you go and get a reading, for example, and it has happened to me in the past, where someone told me something and then it didn't really happen, or it didn't really happen exactly the way that was told to me. So exploring it as it might be a possible scenario, I think it's way lighter than this is how it's going to be, right? So leading with curiosity, I call it this way, just considering it, the whole intuitive thing, but also the whole life thing as an experiment where you try things and then they work out this way, or they work out this other way, or they don't work out at all, and then you learn, right? It's easy on paper, and I know when you're in it, it's not specifically easy all the time, and that's okay, because that's also part of the experience, to have bad days and to have problems and to have challenges and all of that. That's why that's what we signed up for. So lead with curiosity, be present, and accept that you're only human, right? You're here to be human. You're not here to be a superhuman who knows everything. So relax into knowing that you'll know exactly what you need to know when you need to know it. If that resonated with you, please put a like, comment, share, and also subscribe to see all the other videos. Bye.